So here we go, and let us talk about plants and animals kingdom. And in that case, we are going to discover the areas like a brief survey of plants and animal kingdoms to pinpoint similarities and diversities, hoping that everything is all right. So let's start. First of all, we should know what is kingdom. So kingdom, it is a system, uh, a system introduced by R.H. Whitaker in 1969. Okay, in which all the organisms are organized, are placed in various subunits according to their characteristics. Previously, it was two, as it is known plants and animals. They are Munera, Protista, fungi, plantae, and animal. But today we are going to discuss about animals and plants regarding their differences and similarities. Okay, so first of all, if we talk about differences, so let me write it. Differences between animals and plants. So here we have animals for convenience of all, and let's write this is plants. Okay, now animals are tend to move around. Move around is one characteristic or property of the animals. They tend to move around, while in this case plants stay rooted in one place. They stay rooted in one place, right? Similarly, animals eat their food, whereas plants convert sunlight to produce energy, and that energy for their own utilization. They convert uh, it is sunlight, right? Sunlight into energy, and energy can be utilized according to their need. All right. Third, it can be, uh, it is the capability to move our food. Okay, mobility for food, whereas plants create their own food in the process called photosynthesis. They create their own food in the process photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. And photosynthesis, let me tell you shortly, it is the process in which plants prepare their own food via sunlight, air, and water. Or it can be animals' cells carry DNA. They are their cells. Their cells carry DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. But this is, it can be counted in similarities, but we are talking about differences. Okay. So these are some of the one thing that I'm going to tell you, cells absorb nutrients from food. Okay, let me write it. Cells of the cells of the animals absorb nutrients from food, whereas cells of the plants absorb energy from sunlight. Absorb energy from sunlight. Right? Pep, it can be uh, animal cells surrounded by a thin permeable membrane that permits the absorption of outside substances, right? So their cells surrounded by a thin permeable membrane that allow certain substances from outside, right? While in this case, cells of the plant surrounded by a stiff cell wall. So here we have a stiff cell wall, which helps keep plants rigid and upright. Helps keep plant rigid and upright. Okay. Another way around cells of the animals have cilia, which is a hair-like structure substance helps the cell move around. So we can say that the movement of cells of the animals are because of the cilia hair-like substances. Okay, so it is cilia. Let me write it. Cilia, a hair-like substance that helps cells to move around. To move around, it helps cells in their movements. While in case of Plants, their cells contain plastoids, and as we have already discussed about these organelles in detail in previous lectures, that plastoids are pigment or color pigment for getting energy or food and are necessary for. So we can say that this green pigment plastoids are necessary for the photosynthesis process, right? Okay, so let me write it: plastoids for photosynthesis. Cells of the animals have five senses, as it is clear. Five senses, not but but organism. I'm talking about organism. Animals have five senses with relevant devices like sight, taste, etc. While in case of any plants, despite they have sensory organs, they use combination of hormones and sensory ion to take information. They have uh, sensory organs, but use combination of hormones and sensory ion to get what information. Number 7, we can say that animal cells or animal communicate each other. So they communicate each other. They also communicate plants. They also communicate, but in different way. In different way. So these are some of the differences that we have discussed so far. If you know further about diversities of between animals and plants, so you can write in the comment box so that we also know. Now we are coming to similarities between them. What are these similarities? Similarities between plants and animals. Okay, so number first, they respond to stimulus. Respond. Respond to stimulus. Right? That is one. Number second, breathe. They breathe, reproduce, and grow. So these are the similarities between plants and animal organism or cells. They try they try to adapt according to changes changes in the environment. हालात के मुताबिक अपने आप को एडेप्ट कर सकते हैं। And next, we can say that the basic unit of their structure is that they are eukaryotes or eukaryotic cell. ये क्या है? यूकारियोटिक सेल्स है या यूकारियोट्स के ज़मरे में आते हैं। And eukaryotes mean are eukaryotic cells that they have well-defined boundary and nucleus. Well-defined boundary or membrane plus well-defined nucleus. Next, we write they both required air and water. So for the survival of both, air and water are prerequisites. Okay, require air and water. These are the prerequisites for both of them to survive, and they grow and develop properly. ठीक है, grow and develop properly. So these are the 6 points we have discussed, and these are the similarities of both plants and animals. So I hope you got the basic idea about this topic, and now I'm going to wind up this session because we have nothing to discuss more about it. So tomorrow we will be having a last class of this month besides of this course, which you can find in both CSS and PMS syllabus. After that, we will be having tests and tasks. So be ready for that.